The road to the cabin was older than I was. A narrow dirt strip carved through towering pines, the kind that never stayed tame. Every year, Dad cleared the overgrowth, smoothed ruts, scattered gravel, but the forest always reclaimed it. Now, with him gone, it felt like we were trespassing. "You sure this is the right way?" Ryan asked. The trees pressed in. "Yeah," I said. "It just looks different." Ryan exhaled, shifting. Dad used to say he'd find his way anywhere here, blindfolded. I hadn't realized the woods felt different. They felt thicker, hungrier. I tightened my grip on the wheel. The forest didn't change. People did. Ryan cursed as we hit a pothole. "Suspension's not that good. You could always walk." Funny. He glanced at his phone, no signal. "This place is a black hole." I chuckled. "You act like it's new." Ryan hated the woods. Complained about no Wi-Fi, stayed distant. He wasn't a bad hunter, but never loved this place like Dad or me. The cabin stood just as I remembered. The porch sagged more than I recalled, but otherwise, it was untouched by time. The air hit me cool, damp, and familiar with the scent of pine and wet leaves. I stepped onto the gravel. "You ever think about selling it?" Ryan asked. I stopped at the steps. "No." He hesitated. "Mom mentioned it." I turned. "No." Ryan sighed. "Forget I asked." I exhaled, pushing the door open. It creaked, the air thick with dust and the ghosts of campfires. It smelled like home. The place was exactly how we left it hunting rifles. Maps, the couch covered in a faded quilt. The wood stove sat cold in the corner, waiting for hands that wouldn't return. "Feels weird without him, huh?" Ryan said softly. I swallowed. "Yeah." Silence hung heavy. Ryan rubbed his hands together. "All right, let's drink in honor of the old man. Then we'll start the fire." I managed a half smile. "Sounds good." We built the fire outside. The whiskey burned, warming us as we passed the bottle. "You hear that?" Ryan asked. I frowned. "What?" Ryan cocked his head, listening. Nothing. The forest was silent. No crickets, no rustling. Just the fire and our breathing. Then, from deep in the woods, something howled. It wasn't a wolf. It wasn't a coyote. It was deeper, resonant. Ryan tensed. "That's not normal." I licked my lips, watching the trees. The sound was distant, distorted, like it came from farther away, but reached us all the same. Suddenly, the fire dimmed. Not from the wind, but something pressing against it. Ryan's hand went to his knife. "Luke." Then the woods exhaled. The rustling returned. The fire blazed back to life like nothing had happened. Ryan let out a breath. "What the hell was that?" I stared at the forest, uneasy. The next morning, the woods felt different. The fog clung to the trees, thick and unnatural. Ryan rubbed sleep from his eyes as I took a sip of coffee. "You ever think about last night?" He asked. I stayed quiet. "I still can't stop thinking about that sound," he said. I didn't answer, but I had an idea. Something had been out there last night, watching us. Ryan stretched. "Let's head out." Set up by the creek. The forest was too quiet. No rustling leaves, no birds overhead, just our boots on damp earth and the creek murmuring nearby. "Feels dead," Ryan muttered. I nodded. Too quiet. Even in colder months, the forest had life. But here, it felt wrong. Then I saw it. A buck stood in the fog. Its antlers were jagged. Its throat was slit, blood darkened but dried. I lifted my rifle, my breath catching. But when I blinked, it was gone. By mid-afternoon, the fog wouldn't lift. Ryan kept his rifle close. He was jumpy, like he was expecting something to jump from the trees. We headed back to the cabin when we heard a deep, resonant horn. It came from deep in the woods. Ryan turned to me, eyes wide. That wasn't real, right? I didn't answer. Then, closer, the hounds began to bay. We ran. Ryan wasn't there. I skidded to a stop, calling his name into the thickening fog. The trees loomed like dark sentinels. Then, ahead, I saw him. A figure, wrapped in old hunting leathers, standing between the trees. It wasn't Ryan. The figure was too tall, too broad. The huntsman. The hounds were closing in. Then Ryan's voice. Luke. I turned, breath quick. Ryan stood there, wide-eyed. We need to go. The huntsman pointed. I watched as Ryan stepped forward, his voice cracking. It's my judgment, Luke. I felt sick. I think I have to go, Ryan whispered. No, I choked. He smiled, sad. You were always the better hunter. And then Ryan crossed into the mist. The hounds closed in. I stood there for a long time. The huntsman and his hounds had vanished. The forest was silent, empty. Ryan was gone. I went inside, my chest empty, the rifle waiting by the door. Then I stepped back outside, walking into the trees. The forest was dark again. The mist rolled back in, and I saw a deer stood ahead of me. Its antlers curled, its body still. I lifted the rifle. The shot rang out. The deer staggered, but didn't fall. Blood soaked its side. A hound stepped into view. It didn't move. I knew what it was. Ryan, he watched, silent. And I knew, in that moment, it was my job to protect him.